This is perhaps the most bullish tweet from Elon Musk this year. Check this out. 10-year stock returns. Nvidia plus 10,000%. AMD 4,000%. Tesla 2,700%. And Elon Musk says, for now. Elon, are you trying to beat Nvidia here very soon? Of course he is. Definitely he is. And now let's go through all of today's Tesla stock news. Tesla's inventory fell down sharply again today. Not as sharply as yesterday, which was a record in a long time, but it fell down again. And the US also looks good despite the cars now being sent from China to Canada. And this could possibly be some of the best news, perhaps, although it's not exactly clear. The new Model 3 long range now will actually have 333 miles. When Tesla reintroduced it back in May, it had 325 plus miles of range. Using the Wayback Machine, back in 2021, for example, Model 3 long range used to have 353 miles of range. And at one point it had 358 miles EPA certified miles, and now it is only going to have 333. If Tesla is using LFP batteries, that would be quite a bit cheaper perhaps, which would increase the margins, which would overall be quite great because the range is still pretty good. But if you can use LFP batteries to get that range, that would be very impressive. There's one possible hint that suggests that these batteries may be from China, which would further indicate that possibly they are the new batteries from CATL, which are the new version of LFP batteries that do have better energy density, giving the vehicle higher possible range estimates. The long range is not getting the full $7,500 EV tax credit, but the performance one is, which could be a hint that these batteries come from China, just like the batteries for the rear-wheel drive Model 3. I can't wait for someone to tear down the vehicle and find out exactly what kind of batteries are in there, because if these batteries are LFP, then the margins are going to go up. And if the margins go up, what else goes up? Tesla stock. And it seems that there are rumors that suggest that Elon is going to be visiting China next week, although we had these rumors a few weeks ago, and that didn't really pan out. But with Tesla, when we hear rumors about something, often they turn out to be true if these rumors keep going around over and over and over and over again. Like, for example, the Mexico factory. Yeah, we have been hearing rumors about that for about a year, and then it happened. We have been hearing rumors about this Highland project for such a long time. Now, employees supposedly cannot bring in their phones. So everything sort of checks out. It's just, is Elon really going there so soon? I'm not sure about that part, but of course the refresh model is definitely coming. And I think what James is saying here makes sense, that the Model 3 sales until now, it's been a headwind, but after the refreshed version, it is probably going to be a tailwind. And also the timing of this Model 3 long range version is interesting because perhaps we are going to see the refreshed Model 3 actually very soon. It certainly raises some questions here. And check this out. The production output from Giga Shanghai seems to be low for this week, but this is likely because the production line was shut down due to upgrades being made. This article says Tesla Model 3 refresh reportedly near trial production in China. This story though is from May 16th, but everything is coming together for the refresh Model 3. These things take time. This is actually really good news. Tesla drivers can now connect their vehicles to the Uber app. The new feature allows Uber to schedule rides based on the driver's remaining battery. I have someone who I know who just had an Uber ride, and in the middle of a ride from one part of a city to another part of a city, the Tesla car ran out of battery and my friend just got dropped off in the middle of the city and then had to call another Uber. That was not a great experience, especially if you are thinking of buying a Tesla. Because if you don't have a Tesla and that happens to you, you're like, the range is really bad on these vehicles, when in reality it's actually fine. More good news here. These daily reporting markets in Europe, which account for 1/3 of European sales, are now up 46% from total February sales. For easy comparison, I like this chart a little bit better. We are way ahead so far. And you will know this news. Tesla has expanded their Megapack storage at their Lathrop Megafactory for an additional 80 spots. A good sign that production rate is increasing. Actually, I would say it's a clear sign, not a good sign. A clear sign, a pretty clear sign that the production is increasing and that Wall Street is going to be left wondering, how did we miss this one too? Gary Black thinks that the Megapacks could be responsible for Tesla's Nvidia moment, where Nvidia just went up almost 26% or something like that in one single day. And if you ever wondered how $300 million of cash looks like, well, here it is, right here. Tesla is also opening its superchargers in Canada to other EV owners. Seems like every single country is going to do the exact same thing. Getting back to Megapacks for a moment, if you want to help the Tesla community, maybe help Bradford here, give him a direct message on Twitter if you are willing to camp out and count the Megapack production rate over at Lathrop. This is pretty interesting. Tesla gets a seat on a car lobby board as Toyota steps away. This is in Australia. Tesla will be able to push back against unfair rules and regulations just a little bit easier with this. Speaking of opening more superchargers to other EV owners, Gary Black loves the idea because he thinks that is also a great way to advertise Teslas to other EV owners. With Nvidia having skyrocketed just now, a lot of people are really interested in AI companies, and Gary recommends Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, which only has a PE of 17 compared to Nvidia's PE of over 200. And if you look at the forward PE, it's just a little bit under 100. But if you buy Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, just make sure you understand geopolitics of that part of the world very well, because my wife is from that island and it's not looking great right now. But just looking at Nvidia, it is pretty interesting. The stock just skyrocketed quite a bit, but the PE ratio actually improved as the stock skyrocketed. That makes about as much sense as when Tesla beats earnings expectations and then the stock goes down. To some degree, this is actually great for Tesla in Europe, for Tesla's demand. Natural gas prices have plummeted by quite a bit in the recent months. In one day, that's bad because that makes fossil fuels cheaper. So the gasoline-powered vehicles, which, by the way, some people in Europe actually power their vehicles with natural gas, it makes more sense to buy a gas-powered vehicle than an electric vehicle, but also energy prices in Europe are very important. This will help us avoid a recession in Europe, therefore maintaining demand in Europe for Tesla. More good news for Tesla. Tesla's supply chain is rated in the top 25 of Gartner highly respected 2023 survey, says Jeff, and I don't see a single other automaker in that list. And it seems that it is now official that the Tesla Model Y is so far the world's best-selling vehicle. A story from Drive Tesla Canada. Tesla is set to introduce Model Y rear-wheel drive from Giga Shanghai in South Korea. And look at the price that they are going to launch it at. Supposedly it is going to be $43,000 US. And I think that's before subsidies. So after subsidies, it should be even cheaper. It appears that a new full self-driving beta version is going to go wide. Inflation in the US came in a little bit higher than expected. So naturally, the chances of interest rates going up doubled basically overnight. It went from a 35% chance of interest rates going up to now a 66.5% chance of interest rates going up. Tesla is incentivizing some of the deliveries for a Model 3 in Texas in the US. Texas customers in eligible territories who order and pick up a new Model 3 before the quarter ends will qualify for a year of free overnight vehicle charging at home when they sign up with Tesla Electric this summer to be the retail electricity provider. What a day today has been. Tesla stock is up almost 5%, and mostly it has been great news today. And in this video, I talk about Tesla starting to advertise. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. This reminds me of Elon Musk. You are worried the whole time that something will go wrong, but the job is done maybe even in a more impressive way than you would have thought it's possible. Don't bet against Elon.